We asked athletes how the collectively accepted values, also known as the spirit of sport, align with their own values as an athlete. You will see how the athletes talk about how doping might question athletes' spirit of sport values. By showing you the other athletes' thoughts and experiences of doping, we want to raise awareness about this topic. Being sensitized might help you in a situation where you encounter doping. But first, let us have a look at how the World Anti-Doping Agency defines the intrinsic values of sport, which are also called the spirit of sport. The spirit of sport is the celebration of the human spirit, body, and mind. It is reflected in values we find in and through sport. These values include things like ethics, fair play and honesty, health, excellence in performance, character and education, fun and joy, teamwork, dedication and commitment, respect for rules and laws, respect for self and other participants, courage, community, and solidarity. We asked athletes which values they cherish in sports, and you will see that their stated values match the values proposed by the World Anti-Doping Agency. Let us hear which values they rate highest regarding their life as an athlete and their athletic career.
I'm a long-distance runner, and when I started with my athletics training as a child, I just wanted to have fun and joy and run as fast as I can. And that is still really important for me. I really enjoy running. And I'm also really committed and dedicated about my training and spend many hours training. And it is also important for me that I respect my competitors and adhere to the rules of my sport.
I remember when I was a young basketball player, it was very important for me that everyone played fair. And I wanted to play right, and I didn't want my team to win something in the wrong way. I also felt really bad when I accidentally hurt or ran into another player, and it's still really important for me. Playing basketball is about playing fair, respecting the opponent, and setting good example for young players, even if other players don't often play fair in order to win.
I'm an elite soccer player, and for me it's really important to have good company. That means to play with friends together and to enjoy the time with each other. For me, soccer is about a sense of community and really good teamwork. There is nothing better than all of us working together to score a goal. However, I know a lot of teams where the teamwork is not good. Everyone plays for themselves and players don't really respect each other.
Our athletes talk about which values are important to them and which values guide them in their career. However, they also mention that they are aware that not all athletes or competitors share the same values. One phenomenon that can truly question athletes' values and the spirit of sport is the phenomenon of doping. According to the World Anti-Doping Code presented by the World Anti-Doping Agency, the spirit of sport is expressed in how we play true. The code states that doping is fundamentally contrary to the spirit of sport. Let us look at the definition of doping presented by the German National Anti-Doping Agency.
Even as an anti-doping organization, it's hard to give a brief definition of doping. There are just too many scenarios we would consider doping. Technically speaking, we define doping as the occurrence of an anti-doping rule violation. So you might ask, what is an anti-doping rule violation? And we are referring to the Article 2 of the World Anti-Doping Code, with many paragraphs, all revolving around this very question: what is doping? To keep it short, it's not only limited to the presence of a prohibited substance, and things are getting quite complex. Sport has the ability to deliver strong emotions for athletes, for their families, but also for spectators and the general public. Respect, fair play, and honest achievements are among the core values of sports. But doping creates an unfair advantage, and it means disrespect for the competitors' hard work and training efforts. And after all, it's a betrayal for the spectator who trusts in clean sports and fair competition. So that is why doping is against the values and the credibility of sports and all its positive emotions.
Now let us hear if our interviewed athletes have also come into contact with the topic of doping during their career. Did this encounter affect their own values? And how did they observe changes in other athletes' values?
Doping may happen because winning and only winning becomes the priority, and other things that might have been important when you were younger lose in importance. You are so successful and you've invested so much that you do whatever it takes to get the win. And some athletes think that resorting to the use of forbidden substances will help them win. I think the values you have when you are younger become more and more flexible with the years. And the reason why you started with your sport might move to the back burner when you prioritize the goal to win.
I think that injuries play a huge role with regard to doping, and being injured is such a dark place. You still want to compete, and then there is a temptation to somehow speed up the process of returning to play, and you always say to yourself, if you don't take it, you will fall behind and you cannot be there for your teammates for the support. The values you normally have, like always playing fair, are all of a sudden in conflict with just wanting to play and supporting your teammates. This might be why athletes dope when they are injured.
I noticed how the economic perspective becomes really important for some players, and those guys who have families and need to feed their families just from the income that they receive from their sport, and they're not sure if they get a contract for the next year and can earn any money. And when you want to or you have to win, you sometimes do not think clear, and yes, the spirit of sports values gets less important if taking a substance might take you closer to the goal of securing your family economically.
You've seen several athletes talk about the spirit of sport values and how encountering doping might question these values. You might have realized that encountering doping can make the spirit of sport values become less important. This shows how athletes' values priorities are fluid and dynamic. Value conflicts are normal. Some values might impact your choices and your behavior more strongly than other values. Doping is something one encounters in sport. And there are different opinions about whether doping is in line with the athlete that you want to be. It is essential that you know what you stand for as an athlete and which values are essential for you. The more successful you get, the more pressure you will experience. And possibly you will encounter situations where doping seems like the easy way out. For example, when you are injured or under pressure to make the team. Being aware that your values, which are normally in line with the spirit of sport, can be challenged or moved to the background is an important thing to know. This information can help you prepare for this situation and can help you with keeping your values in balance.